And we're back. This might
Hello.
be hidden episode. This might be like a pseudo episode because we only have
Spook episode.
we only have four of us here tonight to do Echo, and we're this is
Ooh.
possibly going to be the finale. So we're gonna have to do this again when we get everyone else. But
Yay!
yeah, I wanted to do this while we had Harry here for certain. So let's go for it. While Harry is currently stepped away from the computer, so that shows you how much I plan ahead on things.
Yay!
Well, he literally told you he was stepping away, and you're like, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You think I think about? You think I think through anything through?
Oh, probably not. Not that
Exactly.
much.
Exactly. I live by the philosophy of no thoughts, head empty.
Generally
Oh.
pretty good philosophy.
Oh, your head's empty.
It's late afternoon by the time Julian arrives to pick us up at the motel. Things are predictably awkward first as the Stags drives us out of the town in silence. I'm just happy I managed to sit between him and TJ again, leaving the Lynx to stare out the window at the desert landscape passes by. I watch Julian as his thumbs tap idly at the steering wheel before he suddenly sits up straight. Dang it. I was hoping Julian would shut the fuck up until Harry got back.
I am back. I just forgot to unmute myself.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, Chase. You left your camera in the truck bed yesterday.
Oh,
I forgot to tell you.
that's
That's
your
not
Julian
Julian.
voice?
No. Oh, Chase. You left your camera in the truck bed yesterday. I forgot to tell you.
I'm now curious about this. So, everyone would agree with me, like, that Julian probably should just have, like, DJ's normal voice, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm curious, do your best interpretation of DJ's voice, Harry. I want to hear what that would sound like.
Um. Oh, Chase. Oh no.
It's okay. That's a rough one to ask. I was just trying to see if, like, it's a fun idea.
I'm really trying. My mind is trying to go through this right now.
I think what you were doing for real was actually fine. I just was curious to see if you could pull off a DJ voice.
Oh no, that's too deep. It's weird because it's like a high pitched, deep nasally. It's weird. It's
DJ
like
does have a particular range that he falls into.
it is. It is high pitched in one area and also rather gravelly in another, and I don't know how that works. My mind can't wrap around what my vocals should do.
It's okay.
Just do it.
Okay, hold up, Seb. I want to hear
good.
your DJ interpretation.
Oh, Chase!
Chase, you left your camera in the truck bed yesterday. I forgot to tell you.
No, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Oh, Chase! You left your camera in the truck bed yesterday. I forgot to tell you.
That's also pretty good.
Man, I like that. I like both your DJ impersonations. This is gonna be a great treat for DJ in the future.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
All coming together.
Now I'm just imagining fucking Leo saying that shit over and over.
Oh yeah.
Oh
It's all
yeah,
coming
it's all
together.
coming together.
He glances
Chase is
over.
poison. Poison for Chase. Poison specifically made for Chase. Chase is poison.
Referring to the fucking train cutting off Chase's legs. Chase is poison.
Jesus. Poison.
See, you call it a train. I call it a gay repellent.
Okay. Alright, back to
Am
this.
I wrong?
I don't even know if we'll keep that in.
You can be mad at me all you want. I'm still right.
He glances over at me and I nod. Oh, yeah. Probably should have remembered that.
Sure.
Do whatever
Do you
voice
want-
you feel comfortable with.
Yeah. Do you want me to pull over so we can grab it? Or grab it out? I don't know how you feel about sliding around back. I don't know how you feel about it sliding around back there while we're going on the highway.
I shrug.
Why can't I read? I don't know.
Should be fine.
You're bad at reading?
It's probably been through worse considering it's a crap rental from the university.
Did not pick up.
Nope.
Nope.
Monosyllabic sounds are always hard for Discord. That's good enough. Julian starts tapping away at the steering wheel again.
So, your friend seems okay. He'll need to rest for a few months to recover, but he didn't seem too worried about that.
I snort. Of course not.
Yeah, anyway. What about it you guys wanted to... What was it you guys wanted to do?
Julian leans forward a bit to glance at TJ. I just wish he'd keep his fucking eyes on the road. I nudge the lynx and he snaps his gaze from the window to look at us.
Oh?
I was asking what you wanted to do tonight, TJ.
Not really sure. We could go see a movie, maybe.
Anything out that you wanted to see?
Not really.
You know, I used to do this thing where I'd get a random ticket to a movie I'd never seen before. I'd have no expectations, so usually I'd be pleasantly surprised.
Oh, that sounds kind of fun. As long as it's not R-rated.
Yeah, so the way I do...
Why don't we go to the Planetplex? I don't know if I said that right. I cut Julian off, looking over at TJ.
The Familyplex?
Yeah, you remember that place, right? We go there as kids for birthdays and stuff.
The old run-down arcade thing at the mall?
Yeah. TJ seems to perk up a bit.
I haven't been there for like 10 years. That could be a lot of fun.
If it's still open, I haven't been to that corner of the mall in a long time.
It is.
Well, alright then. You should, so should we go there?
There's a moment of silence before TJ shifts next to me.
Yeah, let's do that.
The Familyplex is basically as I remember it. Like TJ had said, a good decade had passed since we had been here, maybe more. But the ugly stained carpet and sickly colored walls still cover the place, a real relic of the 80s and 90s. Still, I'm happy to see TJ smile as we walk in, his adorably wide eyes scanning the place, as I'm sure he's hit with the same sense of nostalgia.
Oh my gosh, everything is exactly the same.
The look on Julian's face is slightly less enthusiastic.
Even smells the same.
I don't like it, actually. It reminds me of a movie theater.
Same.
It's really just the popcorn and recycled air from the AC.
I realize then what a fucking stick in the mud Julian is, but I ignore him, instead following TJ as we make our way to the machines. Luckily, the place is mostly empty. There's a group of teenagers being loud and annoying over by the air hockey tables, but otherwise we have the place to ourselves.
Yeah,
There went Alan.
Oh,
I'm not reading my
There
voice.
goes.
I need my voice for TJ.
Fair.
alright, well.
Sebastian.
No,
Yeah?
you can still hear them.
It's a girl. Let's go. God, you should watch the video I sent you.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck Harry's...
There we go, now they cut out. Alright, we're back. There's a group of teenagers being loud and annoying over by the air hockey tables, but otherwise we have the place to ourselves. For a moment, we just stand there. Then Julian reaches into his pocket.
You guys want chip and dip?
Read
you
your
guys want
line, Harry!
You guys want
Harry,
to chip
learn
in
how to
some
read.
money so I can get a few rolls of quarters?
I take out a 5 and so does Julian while TJ hands over a 10.
Wow, TJ, that's a lot.
TJ's eating.
TJ is so cash money that he doesn't even give a shit about giving out 10.
I only have 10s.
he just-
Besides, we'll go
he
through
just
them
walks-
fast. We always do.
TJ walks up and goes, I don't know, I'm just built different. I ain't broke.
Actually, you know what? Since it's just the four of us, I have a fun question for you guys.
Hmm.
Which do you think is the most interesting of like the quote-unquote love interests in this game?
Kudzu.
Okay.
Does he count?
I would not count him. I'm counting like the people who have like major routes. So Kudzu, while he
I
is a
don't know
major
yet.
character in Leo's route, it's not Kudzu's route.
Playing
It's
Flynn,
Kudzu's route.
playing Flynn made me really like Flynn.
Okay.
Playing Flynn's route made me really like Flynn as a character.
Okay. So yeah, this
I'm
question's
biased.
not about like which route is best. It's like which of the love interests do you think is the most?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Mhm.
like that's the thing with Flynn though is like, with brass tacks, Flynn is a great dude. He's just terrible at showing it, but he's such a nice friend. That said, playing Jenna's route, I'm starting to. Jenna's just always intrigued me.
Mhm.
I don't know. I have to say, Flynn's probably my favorite, and then TJ and Jenna are kind of neck and neck as like the two I've been spending too much time on for no reason.
Okay.
I've been spending way too much time on them.
All right. Sam, Seb, what are you guys' thoughts?
TJ.
All right, TJ.
Even though I don't really like Flynn and his torriness, I do like his like character.
I really didn't. I understood Flynn's personality, but I didn't like him that much until I played Flynn's route, and then I was like, man, this dude is awesome.
So for me, my answer is probably gonna be TJ or Jenna. I think they're the most interesting, like as potential, like love interests or whatever. Though I get where you're coming from with Flynn. However, for me, I always have like a personal rule of, if you're a dick, you're probably gonna be a dick at all points, you know. So
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Is like you play his route, and he's just a chill dude. Or like once you get to know him and how he actually acts, he's really cool.
maybe, but I always have an issue when people like take their anger and aggression out on other people. That's just a personal thing for me.
That's fair. I
feel
can't
like
argue with
that's
that.
one of those things I'm like, I would not want to put up with that in a relationship.
That's
Fair.
fair. Still though, he is like the only one who didn't abandon Carl.
Sure, we can say that.
I mean, it's true though, at least from the routes I've played, which I've played all but Carl and Jenna, so... And I'm not planning to play Carl's.
Technically, in Carl's route, Chase doesn't leave Carl, technically.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Either way. Julian walks off to the front counter, while TJ and I wait awkwardly next to the skee ball ramp. I feel like things wouldn't be so tense if Julian wasn't here, and I feel myself getting progressively annoyed by his presence. I'm about to ask TJ how he's feeling when Julian comes back with 2 rolls of quarters. Julian?
So, we have 2 rolls. You want me to count out our shares, or...?
I shake my head. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh god. Hold on, apparently my throat decided to stop working for a hot second.
I heard that yeah come out of your throat and I was like, wow, that sounded like that hurt.
I did. Yeah, we're just here to hang out anyway.
TJ takes one of the rolls and tears off one end.
You guys want to play? You guys want to? That doesn't... am I okay? You guys want to...
Hold up, Sam. It's okay. Just pause for a moment. Give yourself a moment. It's okay.
I'm like, I can't do TJ. No, it's my one thing.
I'm actually curious now. While we give Sam a pause, I want to hear what you guys would have done for your TJ voices with this line.
You guys want a skee ball?
Okay.
You guys want a skee ball?
I like that TJ's gotta sound chipper for the most part for you guys.
Yeah.
Since I made you guys do it.
Let's try. You guys want a skee ball? Back a
Nice.
little bit.
Alright, since I made the rest of you do the line, I'll do it too. You guys want a skee ball?
That sounds...
Sounds even
That sounds
more
like
like
a
a child.
Yeah.
Yeah? I don't imagine TJ with that deep of a voice, honestly.
Oh, I mean, that's fair. Well, I don't want to make him sound like a girl.
Oh,
so
no,
I have to
I
look
wasn't
for-
saying anything about your voice. I was just saying, like, for how I would have voiced him. Like, I would not give him a deeper voice than myself
Yeah.
or anything like that, so. Either way, Harry.
Sure. You know, I've always been pretty good at this game.
I take the open roll of quarters from TJ and take out one of my own, inserting it into the neighboring skee ball machine. There are only two, and I kind of hope that Julian might just wander away, but he stays right there behind TJ, watching. I sigh and insert my coin, watching as the little balls roll out of the little compartment. Meanwhile, TJ is having a terrible time, each one of his balls rolling into the scoreless gutter. I roll my first ball and watch as it misses the 40 and rolls into the 10 gutter.
Don't worry about it, Tej. Want me to show you how?
Julian moves next to me, and I grit my teeth in annoyance, moving over a bit. The stag flicks the ball expertly down the ramp and lands squarely in the 40.
Ow! On your first try, too!
Honestly, I'm out of practice, but usually I go for the hundreds in the corner.
How do you do it?
Well...
Julian grabs a hold of TJ's wrist, and I feel my fur starting to stand on my neck and shoulders.
It's all in the wrists.
He moves TJ's arm forward before bending the lynx's wrist.
Oh, I see.
TJ tries again, and this time gets the 10, but on his second try, he lands in the 50.
Nice!
Julian holds up his paw, and TJ slaps it loudly. The stag laughs, then looks over at me.
You alright, Chase? You got 4 balls. I don't know how. Didn't know others worked like that.
We don't talk about medical conditions like that, Julian.
Part 8.
Didn't know it was a medical condition.
It's called not being able to throw things, Julian.
I like the concept that, like, TJ just breaks into... He, like, acts super serious, but just instantly breaks down into tears the minute somebody, like, insults his pants.
Wait, TJ or Chase?
Chase. It's like, somebody calls Chase cringe and he just sobs. He's like, I'm not Chase, I'm not cringe, I'm based.
Without a word, I turn back to my machine and huck the balls down the ramp, each one landing in the gutter. Meanwhile, I listen to Julian and TJ celebrate another 50. For the rest of the night, I follow TJ and Julian around, the stag showing the cat how best to play the games. All the while, I stand next to them, dumping my quarters into games I don't even finish. I just want us to run out as soon so we can leave. The drive back is quiet and intense. TJ and Julian asked me multiple times at the family plex if I was alright until I finally told them that I just had a headache. That stopped their questioning for the most part, and luckily that prompted TJ to propose we just go back to the motel. I tense up again when he offers Julian to spend the night there, but luckily the stag declines, wanting to go back home to his own bed. As we drive, I notice TJ nodding off, his head bumping the glass of his window. You can lean against me, Tej. TJ's ears flick, flushing a bit.
Oh, really? I mean, I don't wanna...
As an answer, I reach over to clasp the side of TJ's face before I force the lynx's head to lean sideways against my shoulder. TJ stiffens up, but then he relaxes, and 5 minutes later, I can tell he's fallen into a light sleep. Julian glances over at us occasionally, but doesn't say anything. I lean my cheek against the top of TJ's head. I realize how good it feels to sort of envelop him like this. It feels like I'm protecting him. All those bad, tense feelings from the arcade start to melt away. Pretty soon, I start to drift off as well, the smooth drone of the highway lulling me to sleep. I open my eyes and see the back of a rusty white sedan pulled off to the side of the road. Julian's pulling off as well, behind the car. The sun's getting pretty low in the sky, a little bit of cloud cover rolling in from the west. That's when I realize there's a large coyote standing next to the car, leaned over and looking at the front left wheel. She stands up when our headlights hit her, and she shields her eyes against the light. Janice. Julian shuts his headlights off.
Looks like she's got a flat.
TJ wakes up, and I'm a bit disappointed to feel him shift off my shoulder.
What's going on?
Julian's already hopping out of the car, walking up to the now grinning Janice as she sets her paws on her hips. Seb, you want to be Janice?
Sure, I guess.
I have a voice that I think would be funny, but never mind.
Well now, what are you doing out here, Julie?
If you want to be Janice, Harry, you can, and then Seb can be Julian.
No, this is fine.
Okay.
Please continue, Sebastian. I want to hear you suffer.
I can hear a loud,
Wildcat.
obnoxious voice even when the door is closed. Janice is a flat. Want to go back to sleep until Julian's helped her? DJ shakes his head, shifting himself to open the door and hop out. I sigh as he leaves, pushing myself across the seat to jump out as well.
Ace and Tobias too?
She turns her psychotic grin on us.
Yeah, we were having a night out. Anyway, do you need any help?
Well, Julian, I actually do. I don't have my own Jack. Been missing for the past 15 years.
Julian smiles back warmly.
Well, I've got one. Do you have a spare?
Yep, in the back. It's not flat too. Haven't had to use that thing in a while.
We'll go ahead and pop the trunk and we'll see what we got. I'll get my Jack.
Julian jogs back to the truck, while TJ and I stand behind Janice's car. Sadly, that's when the old coyote turns her attention on us.
Well, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, thanks.
I want to thank you again for doing all that yard work during your vacation. It seems I'm always out here helping, just needing help.
Oh, it was no trouble at all, ma'am.
I'm happy to let TJ do the talking, just wanting to get this all over with as soon as possible, so that we can head back to the motel. I squint as Julian's headlights come back on, and he hops out of his truck.
Just want to give us a little more light.
Janice pops the trunk and lifts it up, revealing a cluttered mess inside. She brushes it all aside, lifts up the flap, revealing an old rusty spare tire. She nudges at it, testing the air pressure before lifting it out.
Well, it's just a little deflated, but it should be enough to get me to Duke's house. I know he's got a few spares I can probably use. If not, I'll just let him drive out to buy me one.
Julian kneels down next to Janice's car, setting up the jack. We stand there in silence for a bit, watching the stag as he works. Janice?
Oh, speaking of your vacation, it wasn't really a vacation for you, wasn't Chase?
My heart sinks a bit as the dumb yo turns her attention directly on me. I grunt politely in question, keeping my gaze on Julian to show Janice that I'm definitely not interested in what she has to say.
Well, that grumpy lizard, Flynn, was telling me about it in the diner a few days back. There's something about you wanting to document spooky stuff in town?
I try to think of a way to keep things uninteresting so she doesn't ask any more questions. Sort of. Mainly I just wanted to find some information on a murder that happened like 100 years ago. Couldn't find much out.
Whoa! Flynn made it sound more like one of those ghost documentaries that I like to watch sometimes. I had a few stories for you.
I keep my eyes firmly on Julian's paws as he starts to crank the jack. Then TJ nudges me.
Hey, are there any rules against it being a ghost documentary?
I sigh, though I try to keep it quiet for TJ's sake. Well, it's more of a news piece, so a ghost story wouldn't really work, I don't think.
Actually, I've seen segments on the news about ghosts. I don't know if they're serious, but when someone catches something on camera, sometimes they'll play it.
I shrug. Well, even if that's the case, it probably won't give me a very good grade.
It's better than no grade at all.
TJ smiles encouragingly at me, and I can't help but smile back. He always has had a way of cheering me up, no matter how bad of a mood I'm in.
That's the spirit. Besides, could just be about the history of it rather than making it seem real, even if it is real.
I sigh again, though this time I don't try to cover it up. Janice either doesn't notice or doesn't care.
So, would you like to hear him?
Yeah, let me grab my notepad real quick. I walk over to Julian's truck, listening to Janice as she babbles excitedly to TJ about how scary it is. I try to unzip the bag, but the ledge of the truck bed is too tall, so I have to grab the whole fucking thing and trudge it back over to the car. I unzip the side pocket and pull out my notepad and pen, then stand up straight and look at Janice expectantly. The coyote sits on the ledge of the truck, making the car shift. Julian pauses, eyes wide as I'm sure he thought the sedan was about to topple off the jack.
Well, let's see. I can start with what my grandpa told me.
Yeah, that works.
Actually, that's great, because it happened right here in these very woods.
Janice gestures off the side of the road at the trees.
So my grandpa was taking a walk in there with my grandma, and I want to say sometime in the 40s, right after they were married. They were walking along one of those little trails in there.
I'm doing my math here. If it's the 40s, then most likely she is William from the Smoke Room's great-granddaughter, because that would be William's kid then. Most likely. Unless William's kid had a kid very young.
Which is possible.
It's possible, but for them to get married... Okay, so I know that he has a kid that's like in his teens by 1915. So 25-ish years, yeah, could have had a kid and they could have gotten married by then. So either great-grandchild or great-great-grandchild of Williams.
And as they were, they started hearing this strange sound in the trees, like something scuttling up and down the branches. They kept looking, but couldn't see anything.
TJ hugs himself and rubs his arms with his paws.
Whoa, that's creepy.
Oh, that ain't half of it, Tobias. The thing is, as they kept walking, those sounds followed them, and then...
Janice lowers her voice, and despite my annoyance, I have to draw in a bit closer to hear her next words.
They started to hear it talk.
Hear what talk?
TJ is fully drawn in by Janice's theatrics, and I had to struggle not to roll my eyes.
Well, whatever it was, it started talking down to them.
Janice pauses and glances at me, and I make sure not to give her anything, staring glassy-eyed at my notepad.
What did it say?
Well, just strange things from, like, you're here, and I see you. Though my grandpa said he wasn't even sure it was talking to them, really. He said that it started to just laugh. That's when he and Grandma started running. Even then, it followed them. He said it sounded like rising in the air and landing from tree to tree, following them until they got out.
At this point, TJ is just frowning, and I had to force myself to jot down the stupid notes.
Well, what was it?
Janice shrugs.
Dunno. Grandpa only told the story once when he wouldn't go on a family walk in the forest. I asked him why and told me. Asked Grandma too, but she just pretended she couldn't hear me. The thing is, Grandpa's not a liar. That I can promise you.
I scribbled in the notepad, pretending to write all this down.
Oh, he also said it sounded mechanical, kind of like it was coming through a machine or a computer. That's weird, because they didn't really have those back then.
A moment of silence goes by as I wait for Janice to go on. When she doesn't, I look up. So, that's it?
Oh yeah, did you think they'd actually see something?
I shrug. Anything else? Janice thinks.
Well, there's this bear up the road named Brian. One time he told me a story about seeing some aliens out around here, UFOs and such.
This time I can't stop my eyes from rolling, but again Janice either doesn't see or ignores it.
Said back when he was a teenager, he saw a flying saucer as he was passing by the lake.
I don't even bother to move my pen, but Janice just keeps going.
You know, I was listening to this podcast a while back. You know those radio shows on the internet?
Oh yeah, I love listening to those when I work out.
Hold up, somebody is calling me for some reason.
Okay.
Hold on.
Alright. It's recording again, we're good to go. Sorry about that.
You want me to repeat the line?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Oh yeah, I love listening to those when I work out.
Well, there's this paranormal one I listen to that really goes in depth on like his kind of stuff. And you know, we've all heard the story about gold and quartz deposit.
Yep.
Well,
Janice lowers her voice, leaning in, like she's discovered the best kept secret in the entire world.
in the podcast they were going on about how places with lots of quartz ends up being more haunted. You know why?
I don't say anything, so TJ chimes in.
Why?
Well, the quartz captures stuff from the past, like real emotional, angry stuff, and sometimes when things line up just right, they play it back. Only when they do, it's all twisted up and mixed up with the other stuff. Makes what you see really awful and horrible looking. But you know...
Janice pauses again.
What?
I think there's more to it than that. I think there's something with the conscious mind behind it all there in Echo.
I finally had to break in. Has anything happened to you specifically? You know, it's better if I have something straight from the source rather than secondhand. Janice finally goes quiet then, eyes flicking down at the ground. Julian, meanwhile, has pulled off the tire and is fitting the spare in place.
Well, maybe.
I grit my teeth. What do you mean? Janice lets out a soft, mirthless chuckle.
Let's just say I've seen things and I've promised not to tell anyone about Chase.
I can't tell if she's joking or not, so I just go along with it. Oh, you order a hit on someone?
Maybe Chase.
TJ stands there, a mortified expression on his face. I look down at my camera bag. Well, I think it might be good to get some footage of the trees in there while they're still a little light. If I'm gonna do a whole ghost story thing, then I'd better give it a horror movie vibe.
Oh, well, that sounds wonderfully spooky.
I start toward the tree line, then look back at TJ. You wanna come with?
Oh,
TJ looks back at Janice and Julian, the latter of which is screwing in the tire.
Go on, TJ. Give him some company there. Especially after I told y'all that story.
Is this when that one thing happens?
It's about to be.
I thought y'all got to that already.
No. This happens later.
Oh.
Janice cackles, causing the car to shake again.
Besides, I don't mind keeping Julian company in the meantime.
Julian grunts as he keeps his focus on the tire.
well, okay.
With that, TJ and I cross the ditch into the forest, following the little trail that weaves through the trees. As the darkness of the forest engulfs us, I look back at TJ and see him timidly moving along, looking at the trees nervously. I grin. Are you scared? TJ looks over at me with a start.
Oh,
He lets out a soft laugh.
yeah, maybe a little bit.
I pause, waiting for the lynx to catch up to me. Then I hold out my paw to him. He stares at it for a moment, as if not comprehending what it is. I stubbornly keep it outstretched. No one's gonna see. TJ seems to think for a moment. Then I see the lynx wipe his paws on his pants quickly before reaching out to take mine. I pull TJ along through the forest, glancing up occasionally to see if I can find a patch of sky sufficient enough for the shot I want. Don't worry, man. You know I saw something in here too.
What?
TJ's busy looking off into the trees, his ears perked, listening. Yep. When I was a kid, I thought I saw a fox hanging from the trees.
Oh my gosh, please don't tell me this right now.
I frowned. Listen, what I realized is that sometimes people hallucinate things.
I'd rather just not talk about it right now.
All I'm saying is that the stories that Janice told us aren't real. And even if they are, those people hallucinated, that's all.
Well, sure, but that doesn't mean I won't still freak out if I do see something.
I squeezed the lynx's paw in mine, shaking it around a little. Well, you've got me if that happens.
Eh.
TJ squeezes back. There's a slight resistance in his grasp, though, as if he's trying to pull back from me while at the same time holding on to me.
Chase, have you been feeling alright?
I feel fine. I stop on the path, looking up at a little patch of dusky sky above me, almost spherical and perfect for the shot I'm gonna get.
Because you seem a little bit off, especially when we were at the family plex. And I know we've all been a little off since what happened. I mean, I was feeling really, really weird the past few days.
I set the bag on the path, unzipping the main compartment and pulling out the camera.
Maybe you're feeling the same way that I was?
I shrug, turning the camera on. I feel fine, Tej. TJ suddenly places a paw on my arm, and that gives me pause.
Chase, are you sure?
He's looking me directly in the eye, his paw pads warming the fur and skin under them, chasing away the chill of the evening. It's his wide blue eyes that catch my attention, though. They're sincere, kind, and full of love. It's then that I realize what TJ's trying to tell me. After all this time we spent together over the week, getting to know each other better, talking about our future plans. It's only now that I realize. I stand up straight, facing the Lynx more directly, a soft smile on my lips. TJ looks up at me, eyes looking over my face, as if searching for something. I lean in and kiss him. It lasts a moment. Our lips meet, mine on his for the first time. It's a moment of pure bliss, and I close my eyes to show the Lynx just how passionate I am about it. I feel his lips freeze up against mine, then suddenly they're gone. I open my eyes in time to see TJ stumbling backwards. One paw flies up to his mouth as the other stretches out behind him, as if worried he's going to run to the trees. I guess I surprised him. I smile and follow the cat, reaching out my paws. You alright? I reach for him. He pushes my paws away. I frown. What?
That? Nope.
TJ's... You want to do that again?
Yeah. What was that?
TJ's whispering, but it's a loud sort of whisper, almost deafening in the quiet forest. What do you mean? I kissed you. TJ, I love you. The look of pure shock and horror on TJ's face stuns me. What?
What are you talking about?
TJ, you're asking really dumb questions right now. You heard me. I feel myself getting a little irritated. I just bared my soul to him, and now he's acting like I just told him a terrible secret.
But you mean like a friend?
No, I mean like a boyfriend, a lover. I reach out again, but this time TJ twists away from me, and then starts to back the way we came from. I follow him.
What? How come?
I can see his rapid breathing, his wide eyes like a cornered animal. I feel myself getting angrier. What do you mean, how come? Do I need to explain it to you? TJ keeps backing up, and I see what looks like fear in his eyes. I don't understand it at all. He starts to turn around, but I grab his arm.
Hey!
You flirt with me all fucking week, and you were asking why? What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey, let me go!
He tries to pull away weakly, but I yank him forward so hard his teeth clack against each other in front of my face. He gasps. You make eyes at me across the table at the diner while we're doing yard work at Janice's house, and you don't get why? Why the hell am I getting so angry?
Let me go!
TJ's still whispering, but it's getting louder. So you were just leading me on? I feel my voice break as it rises in volume as well. What is happening? Why am I doing this? Is this a dream? Were you leading me the fuck on, TJ? I see tears brimming in TJ's eyes, and he looks away from me, like a kid that just got caught doing something wrong. Do I need to tell you again? TJ, I fucking love you. I've known it since I picked you up from the college. Just listen to me. I pull him closer, but as I do, he lashes out. I see a flash of light, and the next thing I know, TJ's escaped my grasp. My paw is still stuck out in the air as I watch the Lynx disappear through the trees. Soon the sounds of his footsteps fade as well. I am left alone in the deathly quiet of the forest. I stare for a long time, listening to the nothingness, maybe waiting for TJ to come back, or Julian to come up the path to beat me up. But nothing happens. I don't know how long I stand there, but then when I look up, I see the sun has finally set. I numbly lift the camera in my other hand, still holding onto it like I was when I kissed TJ. Slowly, I walk over to the bag and kneel down, putting the camera away. That's when I feel the nape of my neck prickle. TJ? I look back hopefully, but the path is empty. The forest, though. The trees and branches and leaves that outline the path, just before it curves out of sight, just 15 feet ahead of me. There's a shape in the trees, the shapes of legs, Arms, a torso, and maybe a head. The shadowy figure seems to bend into the leaves, almost melting into the twilight. I blink hard, but when I open my eyes, the figure is still there, unmoving, unchanged. That's when I realize that even though I'm holding my breath, I can still hear breathing. It comes from the direction of the shape, even though it doesn't move at all. It looks like a painting. Slowly, I stand up. It doesn't move. I start to walk forward, and that's when it finally changes. It starts to melt back into the trees, but the branches and leaves don't move. It moves through them. Then, as I reach the bend in the path, it fades into nothing. But the breathing continues. I look around finally, and see it's gotten dark to the point that I can hardly make anything out.
Everything that you see is twisted from what it once was.
But what is it? Actually, I think this is Seb's voice.
It is.
It was something once, just like I was. But nothing here is obligated to make sense to you.
What does it want?
What does anything here want? The only thing you know for sure that it's evil.
And just like that, I'm running up the rest of the path, feeling as if the branches are clawing at me, trying to pull me back into the forest. And still, the breathing continues just over my shoulder, growing ragged with my own, following me, chasing me. I feel it closing in on me, grasping, taking on a robotic tone, as if someone's taking their last breaths through a phone. And I'm the one on the other end listening to it. The crackling breath hisses out, then rises up into a screech of static and noise, and I break through the trees, landing in the ditch and jamming two fingers in the process as I throw my paws out to catch myself. I don't care though. I scramble out of the ditch, gasping for breath. I look up, hoping to see TJ, Julian, even Janice, but no one's there. Both cars are gone. I'm left alone on the road, in the silence and increasing darkness. I walk back to the motel alone. I hope to see Julian's truck in the parking lot when I get there, but it isn't. Instead, there's the typical 2 or 3 cars along with my own. I still have hope as I make my way to the door. Maybe TJ will be in the bathroom, taking a shower. Maybe he'll already be asleep. Maybe he'll be awake and we can just forget about what happened, chat until it's late, order a pizza like we did at Carl's house. But as I press the key card into the lock, and it flashes green and I open the door, I don't see TJ at all. It's dark and empty. And that's when I finally realize that TJ's left me as well. My mind is blank as I walk through the motel room, only then realizing I left the camera in the forest. I don't care though. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters anymore. I curl up on the bed and cry for a long time. I don't care how loud I am. I'm sure if anyone hears it, they've heard worse. The employee at the front desk probably hears it every week because that's the way this town is. I fall asleep. When I wake up, I can't move. I don't care though. It doesn't matter anymore. Even though I know better, I open my eyes. Weirdly enough, the motel is as I left it, disheveled with the lights on. Nothing horrible at all until I hear footsteps at the base of my bed. I brace myself for it, but I keep my eyes open. I don't know why. I guess it feels like I'm punishing myself for what I did to TJ. I lay there on my side, curled up and waiting as the footsteps make their way around the bed. I don't know what I expect my mind to conjure up. Maybe the demon in the forest, the evil electric creature that breathed into my ear as I ran from it, jumping from tree to tree behind me. But what I didn't expect is to see the small old Kit Fox in a button-up shirt and tie. I watch as he sets a card down on the little table next to my bed. I get a moment to see a small ring, see a silver ring on his finger and the worn black claws. Then he picks up a bottle from the table that isn't there and takes a swig from it. Then he moves over to the closet rod, clothes that I don't recognize hanging from it. He's got a cord of some kind in his paws. He starts to tie it up on the rod, while the other end gets tied around his neck. I know what he's doing, and now I try to close my eyes, but something seems to hold them open. This is too real. The fox braces himself against the wall, and I see his face clearly. Kind, weary, hopeless. And then he sits, but he doesn't completely sit because the cord pulls taut, and he's left with his legs at a loose slant on the ground. I see his eyes bulge, turning red, and at the same time... Oh, somebody just joined.
Matt.
Hi, Matt. You got in here for a fucking horror scene.
Boop.
And at the
Does
same
it
time...
does it make me want to kill Chase?
You missed that one.
Okay, good.
And at the same time, those eyes meet mine, and I think he sees me. I gasp and sit up in the bed, but he doesn't disappear. He lingers. It's only when he starts to go into convulsions that he begins to fade away. I hug my knees, my back pressed against the headboard of the bed as the fox continues to stare at me, then disappears completely. It was real. It was real. Seb?
Oh. Was.
Something's different. Something's wrong in the air. A sound from the bathroom makes me look over to the closed door. Something's in there. Automatically, I get up. It's like I'm not in control of my body anymore. It's like I'm still in the dream, even though I know I'm not. I get to the door and stand there a little while, listening to the breathing inside. And then I open it. I stand there for a while, staring in. The light from the room pours into the bathroom, but it isn't enough to show me anything out of the ordinary. I feel it though. There's an energy in there pulling me in. Slowly, I step inside, looking around, my heart hammering in my chest. I'm not scared. Not anymore. It's a sort of anticipation instead of fear. Like I've been waiting for this ever since I got to Echo. I don't know if I believe in ghosts now, but I know what's happening here is real. I wait, feeling the cold tiles of the bathroom against the pads of my feet. I'm not sure how long I stand there in complete silence. It could be anywhere from 1 minute to 10, but that's when I finally get an answer.
Close the door. Close the door.
I don't hear anything, but I feel it, and I feel it coming from my left. I look, but I don't see anything. This isn't like the other times when I'd hear him inside my head. No, the voice inside me is hiding right now, like even he's afraid of this. Still, I sense it, and even though I start to feel that fear again, I reach out for the door.
Close it. Close it. Close the door.
For a brief moment, I have a sudden realization of where I am, what I'm doing, and what's happening. But that's not enough to stop me. There's a haze over my mind, over everything, like I'm in a deep, dark dream that I can't get up from. I think I've lost my mind, or I'm dead. Either way, it doesn't matter anymore. I push the door closed, but not fully, letting just a crack of light in so that through the mirror, I can see the outline of fur on the left side of my head. But as I'm looking at that, I start to get the feeling that it's not me in the mirror. I look shorter, smaller. Something's wrong with my face. I can almost see what looks like a corner of a mouth stretched all the way across the jaw. Just like I saw in the diner bathroom 5 days ago? I don't know. It feels so long. But it's then that I realize the presence that feel is coming from this thing in the mirror. We stare at each other for a long time, the fear rising and rising until it's almost overwhelming. But my feet won't move. My mind won't reason with what's happening. I'm in a nightmare.
This is real.
The mirror whispers at me, and I see the grotesque mouth move with the raspy, whispering words. Slowly, I move a little closer to the mirror, ducking my head down a bit, reaching up to touch my cheek, where I see the widened gash of a mouth. The reflection does the same, but when I touch my face, I only feel smooth fur, even as the fingers in the mirror brush against the opening. What's happening? I ask myself, but my reflection responds.
What's been happening for eons? What was supposed to happen to everyone else in this town? But you stopped it.
What?
Coming back here with your secret almost started it. But now that everyone's about to find out,
What are you talking about?
this town might actually survive if they find out.
Find out what? I bring both paws up to the press against the sides of my face, as if to cover the gaping mouth.
You know what?
I squint at the reflection, trying to figure out why it looks so familiar. Sydney? There's a raspy, rustling sound, and I see the thing in the mirror shake, its head twitching from side to side, far too fast to be anything of this world. I take a step back. Dread rises in my chest. No, this was supposed to be over. I'm not supposed to see things anymore.
You always knew they were wrong. Always knew what you saw was real. Nothing normal about this.
But it's not me seeing things again that's got me feeling the way I do. No. What secret are you talking about? Again, the raspy sound of rustling leaves, sounding old and forgotten. That's what it feels like I'm talking to. Something old, monolithic, and ancient.
You don't need me to tell you.
I grasp my shirt, twisting the fabric in my paws, feeling like I might panic, that I might go insane.
Already insane.
But how is anyone going to find out? No one knows.
You know that's not true. Who was responsible for the cruel joke?
I swallow hard.
Someone knows.
No, that was something else. They didn't know. It was a stupid prank on me, to make me look bad, to ruin our vacation. Vacation is what I'm on right now. Is that what I'm on right now?
That thought is foolish, and you know it.
It was definitely foolish.
And you know who it was, and after what you did to him.
I I see myself pinning the lizard in the parking lot, holding back from pounding his face into nothing.
He's going to tell everyone.
No. I hear myself whine, feeling like a child, like a small creature in the mirror. Like the small creature in the mirror.
Yes. Unless...
I wait, feeling tears well up in my eyes, knowing that my life is about to change forever. The silence drags on until I finally break it. What?
You can keep... I can help you keep the secret.
I wait a while longer, but the reflection stays quiet. I get the sense that time is going faster than I perceive it, my legs aching from standing here rigidly on the cold tile floor. Help me?
I can tell you what you can do to keep things the way they are.
I feel a small ray of hope pierce through the towering cloud of impending doom in my chest. How? There's a dark pause, a moment that marks an in-between, between what was and what's about to become. I know things can't truly stay the way they are. They never do. Another split in my life, just like what happened years ago. Finally, the thing speaks, and I hear exactly what I expect.
Do the same to the lizard.
I swallow, feeling myself resisting, rejecting the idea.
Unless you want them all to know your secret.
But how do I know it was him? He sounded like he had no idea what we were doing.
He is deceptive, a liar. His entire family has always been.
But I can't. I don't know for sure.
Show him the note. You'll see his reaction. The truth.
My paws drift to my pocket, feeling the gentle outline of the folded paper. Who are you? The rustling leaves again, and I realize that while this might be Sydney, it's something more than Sydney. And it doesn't answer me. We stand there for a long time again. Minutes, hours, I don't know. Why would you help me? This time, the answer is immediate.
This town needs secrets.
Why? Again, no answer, and I stand there for what feels like hours. As I continue to stare at the small, disfigured creature, I get the feeling it's starting to move independent from me. That thought scares me, and I lift my paws. I'm relieved to see the reflection do the same, but as soon as I touch my face, I feel the corner of my mouth stretched up to my ears. In a sudden burst of panic, I lunge for the light switch and flip it on. I'm stunned as I'm bathed by blinding yellow light, and I have to shut my eyes for a moment before opening them. I see myself in the mirror as I've always been, staring back blearily. My eyes are bloodshot, and my figure seems to sag with exhaustion. I stand there for a while, feeling my mind cloud up even more as I go over what just happened. There's a violent shiver, then a violent shiver comes up my body, like I'm suffering a high fever. I feel sick. My skin is sensitive, my joints are sore, and after a moment, I move back into the motel room. I can see that it's light outside through the curtains. How long was I in there? It must have been hours. I don't care though. Still shivering, I head for the closet door, sliding under the covers in my clothes and laying my head against the pillow. I realize then that this is Jenna's bed, and I could smell her perfume along with the faint scent of fox musk on the pillow. Where was she again? I can't remember through the haze in my head. I think I fall asleep, but I'm not sure. A sudden knock at the door makes me jump. I curl up tighter under the covers, hoping that I just dreamed it, or that whoever is outside just goes away. Then the knock again, followed by Leo's voice. So who wants to be Leo? Actually, Matt, you haven't had a character. You want to be Leo?
Huh? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll take a break from what I was doing. Hey, Oliver, you there?
I cringe, squeezing my eyes shut, having completely forgotten about him. Why had he chosen to show up now? I lay still for a moment. Then he yells again, which makes me jump out of the bed, cringing at the pain in my joints. Groggily, I stumble to the door, leaning against it for a moment as I feel lightheaded, trying to gather myself. Finally, I fix my face into a tired smile before opening the door. Leo stands there, his ears perked, eyes wide as if he hadn't expected me to open the door.
Oh, hey, Chase. Are you alright?
He reaches out to rest a paw on my shoulder, looking me over. Yeah, was up all night doing my project. I left it until the last minute. I give him a sheepish grin. Leo clicks his tongue at me.
Isn't that due tomorrow? And aren't you driving home all day today?
I shrug. I'll be fine.
If you say so, Otter.
He can just stare at me with a look of concern. What's up?
Well, I guess I'm sorry that I haven't been around more this week. I guess I was just being a bit unfair to you.
I rack my brain for a reason why Leo's apologizing to me, or how exactly he's been unfair to me.
I guess I've just been a bit down because you weren't talking to me as much as I thought you would.
Oh. Had Leo been avoiding me all week? I hadn't even noticed. Oh, well, it's alright. I was wondering why you hadn't texted me. I'd been missing you.
Ah,
Leo's ears flatten, and I see a look of shame cross his face.
you could have texted me too, you know?
I didn't want to bother you. I could tell you weren't all that happy. Leo lets out a big sigh, letting his shoulders droop.
I'm sorry, Chase. I guess I just felt kind of shitty after what Flynn did. Then you just kind of went quiet.
I scratched the back of my head. Yeah, I can't deny he kind of ruined the vibe of the whole trip, but I really should have called you afterwards. I'm sorry too.
My dad did call me into work every day, so I guess it would have been hard to work things out anyway.
That sounds familiar. They still making you work weekends too?
Usually, yeah.
Leo looks past my shoulder into the motel room.
Anyway, when I texted Jenna, it sounded like something was wrong. I guess she'd already back in Pueblo?
I shrug. Yeah, I think that the tension got to her in the end, and she took off early. She was complaining about Flynn the entire time she was here. Leo lets out another big sigh.
Great. He's been acting strange too.
Oh yeah? I suddenly hope that the wolf isn't going to ask to be let in.
Yeah, driving around acting all shady. That's actually what made me want to visit you. See if everything was okay. Carl isn't here responding to me.
I'm good. Just tired and stressed out.
Is Tej here?
He's actually hanging out with an old friend, Peyton, right now. Once he comes back, we're gonna start driving back. Was actually in the middle of a nap.
Oh, sorry. You wanting to get back to that then?
I smile guiltily. Yeah, that would probably be for the best. don't want to nod off on the road, you know?
Of course.
Leo looks at me hesitantly.
Listen. I know this is probably going to be our last time getting together before we all split off, but you want to try this again in the future? Maybe over the summer when you don't have school to worry about. I just feel like we left a lot unsaid. Doesn't have to be everyone, and maybe this time I'll just tell Flynn not to come around.
I smile back at Leo. Yeah, that sounds good. I think that'd be a great time. Leo smiles back, looking genuinely relieved and happy.
Ah, that's so good to hear. And I'll be sure Dad knows that I want the week off.
Good luck with that, and I'll let TJ and Jenna know.
Thanks, Chase.
Leo stands there for a moment, then sits forward to give me a hug. I hug back tightly before letting him go. I stand in the doorway until Leo's van pulls out of the parking lot, heading in the direction of the highway, probably on his way to work. Once he's gone, I deflate, feeling as if that one conversation had been equal to hours of hard labor. Still, watching him go, I get a sense of sadness. Like that was the last time we'd see each other the way we are now. I stumble back into the bed, almost falling before I catch myself on the edge with both paws. I stare at the square platforms on the comforter, feeling a little sick. For a moment, I hear whispers coming from the dark bathroom, but I don't even look up to see if I can see that figure in the mirror. I wish I'd closed the door, but I'm not going near that place again. So I curl back up on the bed, facing away from the bathroom, closing my eyes. God, I'd forgotten how fucking intense this fucking route was for my voice.
Yep.
I don't want to talk forever.
Too bad.
Sometimes you just gotta live.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna inflict this curse upon you soon, Seb.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I gotten bored of skipping rocks pretty quickly. Leo was good at it. He could skip them over the water 5 times before they sunk. Oh, wait. Oh, I don't have to do my Cheese voice. I can do my child voice. Oh, hallelujah. I gotten bored of skipping rocks pretty quickly. Leo was good at it. He could skip them over the water 5 times before they sunk. Even Jenna could do at least 3. I would splat once and sink like the stones they were. After Leo laughed at my last one, I glared and decided to go farther down the beach where no one else could go. Whoever wants to be child Leo, go for it.
Who wants to be child Leo? I don't know.
Eeny, meeny, miny, I pick you, Seb.
Hey, not on the way of the rocks. You're going to get hit.
Leo telling me to be careful only made me more angry, and I cut through the water, far below the surface so they couldn't see me. I go back in the direction where we came from, wondering if Sydney and Toby are in the shallows, that I might be able to surprise them. When I come around the curve in the beach, I see that they are in fact in the shallows. But I can tell immediately that something isn't right. Toby's flat on his stomach in the water. Sydney is sitting on his back. Toby has just enough room to get his head barely sticks out of the water. As I poke my head up, I can hear the cat sobbing. Sydney isn't saying much at all. He's got a strange look on his face. It's a look that I've seen before, like that time he covered Toby's mouth and nose when he had him pinned down and we had to pull them apart. That same look when he'd thrown a dirt clod with a rock in it at the lynx's head. A look that was determined, almost empty, but completely fascinated with what he was doing. Almost like he liked it. Something about the situation scared me, though. The other times we had been there to help separate them, or stop Sydney from going too far. But now, it looked like he was trying to kill the cat. Every now and then, a wave would slosh over Toby's mouth and nose, and he'd yell and struggle frantically, begging Sydney to get off. But Sydney just sat there, enamored with his own cruelty. He was going to kill Toby, just like he killed his dad. My vision blurs as I go under and speed toward them. I leap out of the water and knock Sydney off the links as hard as I can. Sydney falls back in the water before quickly pushing himself back up. I see the look of horror on his face, not at what I'm about to do to him, but because he got caught doing something bad. Not just bad, but weird and scary, and something that no one should ever do, not even if you're a kid. I don't think he could ever explain why he liked doing it. That imprints itself in my mind. TJ runs off. I don't know where to. I try to get Sydney to tell me what he was doing for a while. I don't remember exactly what happens, but I get angry. I throw a punch. It misses and hits him in the throat instead. He lets out a hard cough, reaching up with both paws to clutch at his neck. He manages to stumble to his feet without using his paws, his Luce Lobo swim trunks wetly clinging to his legs. I don't give him a chance to stand for long. I tackle him again and grab his head, shoving it underwater. He scrambles frantically. I feel a dark satisfaction in my chest at the way I can hear his screams through the bubbling of his exhaling breath. I finally let him go after a good 10 seconds and he comes up, gagging and choking. He starts to scramble away on his paws and knees before getting up. I see snot hanging from his nose and chin as he stumbles, snorting out water, and I can tell he's about to cry. This would normally be Hannah, but for now, how about you, Harry?
You tried to kill me. I'm telling Leo, you tried to murder me.
So that was it. For some reason, the way he immediately tried to put that on me, it was then that I believed he was trying to kill TJ. Maybe not even on purpose. Maybe he was just waiting for it to accidentally happen. I don't know. But now he was going to make everyone think I'm a murderer, even though we all know he did it. He stumbles away, and I go after him, grabbing him.
He's trying to kill me. I can't do kid's voice, I'm sorry.
It's okay. His voice is weak, and so is his body, especially in the water. I poke my head up through the waves in the front of the others. Sam!
Otter, move! We're gonna hit your head!
I shrug my shoulders, dipping under the water again, so that I can hug myself and tremble alone. Again, time passes in a way I'm not familiar with. 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 hours pass when my phone starts to ring. There's something ominous about it. Something I can't explain. But I feel it deep in my bones, like the aches in my joints. I open my eyes and see my phone just a foot in front of my face, vibrating over and over. I see the blank contact image on the screen with the name Julian under it. For a moment, I wonder why I have his number, why I have his name attached to it. Then I remember it's because we exchanged numbers during the scavenger hunt, so that I could call him to meet up. Slowly, I reach out and press the green button to answer. I raise it to my ear, waiting, but only get silence on the other end. Hello?
Hey, Chase?
Julian's voice sounds hesitant, like he's not really sure what he's doing, like he doesn't know me. Yeah?
So something happened that I thought you, or at least someone, should know about.
I slowly sit up, the blanket falling away from my shoulders. What's up?
Well, TJ spent the night over at my place. What you did, after what you did.
Julian's voice takes on a hard edge, and for a moment I'm not sure what he's talking about. Then I remember the forest and what happened there. For some reason, the thought doesn't create that horrible empty guilt I felt yesterday. In fact, I feel nothing.
Anyway, we got him a bus ticket back to CCU, and we were hanging out until the departure time, which was an hour ago now.
Yeah?
Well, that lizard guy showed up. Flynn? He showed up at my house. I don't know how he knew where I lived, but I think Janice told him.
My heart skips a beat.
Anyway, he wanted to talk to TJ, and eventually TJ told me that I could just wait outside or wait inside, and so I did. And after a while, I looked, and they were gone.
Gone?
Yeah, and so was his truck. I'm pretty sure TJ went with them, but I don't know. They were both acting really strange, so I don't really feel good about it. TJ won't respond to my texts either.
I see.
So, your number is the only one I have from your friend group. I thought I should tell you so you can let the others know too.
Alright, I'll do that.
Alright.
There's a pause, but I'm already getting up, looking for my keys.
Probably check things out myself before my shift today. You know where Flynn lives?
I can tell that the bug doesn't really trust me with this information, and why would he? I don't care, though. Yeah, he's on Shefford Street. Janice will be able to point out where it is for you, but I'm heading over now.
Let me know if you find anything out.
I will, later.
Bye.
I feel my heart rate picking up speed as I finally find my keys under my backpack on the table. I snatch them up and jog out of the motel, the heat of the afternoon sun coming over me in a wave. I realize then how late it is. I've been in a motel for nearly a full day, but to me it felt like only a few hours, if that. I should be on the highway right now, if not already back in Pueblo. But I realize none of that matters now. As I sit in the oven-like heat of my car, I see it staring at me from the back seat. I'm not afraid of it. At least not right now. It means I'm on the right track, I think. I'm doing what I'm meant to do. I know where Flynn and TJ are. He probably thinks that's the best place to get the truth out of TJ. His truck sits there in the small parking lot alone, gleaming in the setting sun. I pull up right beside it. I pull up right next to it and look inside. Empty. I park and shut off the engine, jumping out and jogging toward the faint trail through the sagebrush. I know exactly where to go. Instead of turning right like we did yesterday to get to the boulder, I take a left. I haven't been on this part of the beach in over a decade, not since it happened. I know this is the right direction though, and soon enough, I see the bend on the beach that turns into the shallows that we played in so many times. I see an odd set of tracks leading in that direction. Flynn's footprints, not hard to recognize with their long clawed toes. But there's another pattern next to them. They aren't footprints, but drag marks, like Flynn had been dragging something next to him. I pick up the pace and start to run, breath catching in my throat. That feeling of not being able to turn back looming over me like a dark fog. The water and sand around me is starting to tinge soft red with the setting sun. For a moment, I wonder what would happen if I stop. What if I turn back instead of turning this corner? I know that my life will turn out very, very differently if I do. That thing in the mirror, the town, it told me so. But I feel like I'm on a set of train tracks cutting through the desert with no alternative path to speak of. I've been on this track ever since I decided that I need to protect TJ. As I turn the corner, I see them immediately. TJ is sitting on the beach, his knees drawn up to his chest as he stares downward. Flynn is standing over TJ, his paws on his hips, looking down at the cat. It looks like he's been thrown there by the lizard, and I finally feel rage replace the anticipation and fear. It's finally gonna happen, and now I want it to. Hey! Flynn immediately whirls around, eyes wide as he spots me sprinting toward him. He takes a step back as I get closer, but I skid to a stop 10 feet away, glaring at him as my paws clench into fists. What the hell are you doing? I scream at him, wanting to let him know just how pissed I am. It feels good, finally not being afraid of what or worried about what's going to happen. Because now I know there's no other option. Flynn looks taken aback for a moment, looking me up and down before he straightens up. He hasn't forgotten what happened between us yesterday, and I can tell he's afraid of me.
Get the fuck out of here, Chase. This isn't about you.
You fucking bet it is! I look at TJ, and he's gone back to staring at the ground, expression vacant. What are you doing to him?
Not doing anything him except asking some questions.
About?
You know exactly about what.
He's trying to confirm your secret.
Get away from him. I see towards the liberation, taking a few steps closer to the lizard. Flynn takes steps back again, but only with one foot, and he doesn't back away further.
You stay the fuck away from me, Chase. And what the hell have you been doing the whole week?
Flynn seems to grow a little more confident with that. What do you mean? I stop and cross my arms, waiting.
What I asked yesterday. Adding after what happened to Carl, I think I'm owed a fucking explanation.
I feel the anger rise up even more in my chest. You want an explanation after the shit you've been pulling? Flynn once again looks taken aback by my anger.
The hell are you talking about?
My paw moves to my pocket. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That fucked up scavenger hunt you sent us on, that you started with Carl. Flynn gapes at me.
What?
I feel some of my resolution dissolve as the lizard's face looks completely bewildered.
He's lying.
Anger swells once again. Quit fucking lying to me! I know what you did, and I know what you think happened. Flynn steps forward.
Ace, get the fuck out of here. This isn't about you. TJ's telling me what happened.
I look down at TJ, again at that vacant stare. What'd he tell you?
Leave. This isn't about you.
Flynn walks up to me, giving me a hard shove in the chest. I stumble back. Really? I feel my paw reaching to my pocket, as if on its own accord. I grasp the note, and even though my nerves fail me as I'm pulling it out.
It seems to happen on its own.
Then what the hell is this? I unfold the note, ripping the old paper in the process. But it's intact enough when I present it in front of the lizard's face. Flynn's brows furrows in confusion for a moment before he takes it roughly from my paws. He stares at it, eyes scanning the page as if looking at it from all angles. Finally, his eyes flick up to look at me.
The fuck is this?
He whispers hoarsely. I look straight back at him, waiting for the expression of familiarity, the guilt, the knowledge that piece of paper is his own doing. But instead of what the mirror promised, I get shock and confusion instead. Just like that, I feel my determination break down. It was as if something had been driving me to this moment, and that cloud covering my brain breaks for a moment. For a moment, things are clear, and I'm left in a daze.
What is this?
His voice turns up into a scream, and it's such a horrible sound that I stumble back. He holds the paper up, showing me, and I stare as if I'd never seen it before. Unlike the other notes, this one is a crude drawing. On the far left of the page, a small stick figure with lynx's ears is kneeling on the beach, surrounded by clams and starfish. He's covering his face, tears falling to the sand below. Extended out from the beach, poorly drawn waves spread across the top of the page to represent the lake. Far below the waves, 2 figures are connected near the bottom of the page. One has X's for eyes, his legs and arms splayed out, tiny little bubbles coming up from the mouth. Below that figure, another sits below him, grinning mischievously, holding the drowning stick figure down by his tail. As if the picture wasn't descriptive enough, words and arrows label the characters. Toby sits on the beach, Sydney dead in the water, and Chase holding him down. What was that, Sam?
A very bad inkling. I was like, did he tell him Sydney?
Oh, don't worry. This scene's about to get real fun.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
we'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, how's my voice of the crazy?
I like it. I think
Good.
that,
Yeah.
it's great for what I tentatively call the mirror ghost. And a lot of the fandom calls it the mirror ghost too. I think that's a good voice for it.
I can't do the hysteria voice without a big old grin on my face.
Oh yeah. I looked at the drawing so many times before, but now to have Flynn be the one to show it to me? But he had to be the one to have drawn this. Who else could it have been? But here he was, standing there in a state of shock, just like me. But I could see his expression very quickly morphing into fury. All my plans to confront him, to figure out how he'd found out, are thrown out the window. Because he just found out. I'm completely unprepared, and conveniently, the presence that spurred me on has left as well. It's only now that I realize how stupid this all was. It's like I've been tricked.
Chase.
Flynn's walking toward me, and his expression is nothing like I've ever seen before.
Chase.
I can see in his eyes what he's about to do. I back away, stumbling, and that's when he rushes, tackling me to the ground and crushes me into the hard, sharp rocks underneath. Unlike yesterday, all my strength and confidence has abandoned me. It's like whatever's been driving me has left me right at that moment, taking several steps back to watch. Like it wanted all this to happen. Like it wanted this to happen all along. Flynn's fists find my face, first one on the right side, then the other on the left. Each one brings a flash of light to my vision, and at that moment all sense leaves me. It's kind of nice in a way, like I don't have to be present for the horror that I brought on myself. A few more punches come my way, the impacts like earthquakes in my head, but I don't feel any pain. Instead, they leave me feeling stunned, like I'd been electrocuted. I can feel blood pouring from my nose like a faucet, though, and soon it fills my mouth with that familiar metallic taste.
You fucking piece of shit. You think you could just play with me like this?
His strong big hands find my neck and start to squeeze. Through blurred vision, I can see him above me, eyes filled with tears, glaring down at me with a rage that I didn't think was possible.
You little shit! You won't fucking get away with this shit this time!
I hear the rustling leaves again. My reflection. Sydney, the town, whatever it is, laughing at me. Vaguely, I wonder if Flynn had been spurred on it by it too.
We're puppets.
Nothing seems real right now. What's happening to me, to Flynn, what's happening between us? It seems impossible. But that breath that's stuck in my throat is very real, and I start to see stars and blackness begin to cloud my vision. After the things I've done, I guess I deserve it. I guess this is the appropriate way to go out. A soft voice coming from the distance.
It was me. I did it.
Hands come away from my throat, and I take in one massive breath, like I'm coming up from the water after having been under for far too long. Spit and blood go down my throat and into my lungs, and I roll over, letting out a great cough, spraying the rock in front of my face with dark drops of blood.
What?
I watch blood drip to the flat rock in a steady rhythm from my nose, having to breathe extra hard through my mouth because of it.
I said I did it. It was an accident. I pushed him out into the water and he drowned.
I grabbed the rock, stumbling to my feet, feeling that old anger return.
He is going to kill Toby. Stop him.
I stumble unsteadily to my feet and turn to see the lizard with his back to me, approaching TJ.
He will never leave Toby alone. Just like Sydney.
I stumble after them, hand tightening around the rock, the back of Flynn's head in my sights.
What did you say?
Buddy, you can stop it for good. Break the circle.
I'm a few steps away from Flynn when I swing, bringing it down on his head as hard as I can. The sound is awful. Immediately, Flynn bends over, screaming in pain as his paws come up to clutch the back of his head. I swing again, this time glancing off the top of his head, most of my power robbed by the poor angle. Flynn turns to me then, still crouched low, and tries to tackle me. I stay on my feet for the most part, but I'm pushed back several feet as I grab onto his back for support. I feel the cold water on my feet. And that's when I grab the lizard under his armpits and start to pull us both out further. Flynn doesn't seem to realize what's happening until the water's up to our knees. He stands up straight, and I see the blood running down his face from his head. He's glaring at me, expression wild, gaze clouded just like mine, and he takes a swing at me. It lands on my jaw. Though my head is snapped to the side and another flash fills my vision, I'm able to grab that paw and swing him out further into the lake. The lizard stumbles into the shallows, standing up, waist deep, and that's when I throw myself at him with everything I've got. I tackle him into the water, and we're both submerged. I feel a change in Flynn's demeanor. The change as he realizes that he's gone from fighting for the truth to a fight for his life. Claws come out now and scratch at my arms, but I ignore it, the cold of the water numbing any pain that I might have felt. I kick us further out into the lake, my powerful tail and body coming into play, doing what I was built to do. I know I knocked the breath out of Flynn when I barreled into him, and he doesn't have much time before he needs another breath. I'm not going to give it to him. I thrust us both through the water, downward against the rocks and sand below us. He grasps at me, kicking with his feet, and I catch a glimpse of his face then. It's not angry anymore, or clouded. Instead, he stares at me with shock and utter disbelief. I'm killing him, and he realizes it. He also realizes the truth then. I see it in his eyes. What he's wanted to know for the past decade, he realizes in the last minutes of his life. He kicks at me with his feet, his movements becoming even more desperate. His paws move to my neck, trying to choke me again, but it's useless. I already have my breath. I watch bubbles spurt from his muzzle, then all at once in a gush. His paws go from strangling to pleading. He grabs me by the shoulders, shaking, tugging, looking into my eyes. But I'm relentless, that feeling of not being able to turn back too strong. His muzzle opens, trying to breathe, but only taking in water. His thrashing turns up a notch, scratching my legs with his claws as he kicks even harder. This second burst of desperation only lasts a few seconds though. His movements growing more and more tired, weaker and weaker. He's not looking at me anymore, eyes staring past me toward the glimmering surface above, a place I'll never let him see again. His movements become more sporadic, like he's having convulsions. My instincts tell me to let him go, to end this insanity, but my paws won't let me. I close my eyes and press harder. After a few more minutes, I don't feel any more movements. Slowly, I let him go, careful not to look at his face. His body stays still for the most part, moving back and forth gently with the current. I kick to the surface, my limbs numb as I break through the cold air above. I pull myself along through the rocks, gasping and feeling incredibly weak for some reason.
Yeah, you just killed somebody, so I guess you're gonna feel a little weak.
Well, okay, I will say this is not over yet. However, I need to pee, so I'm gonna go pee and let you guys chat about this. I can hear, though, while you chat.
I'm so...
So here's the
Here's
I fucking died, dude.
here's the fun thing, right? A lot of people hate on Chase for all of this, but when it comes to Chase killing Sydney, Chase isn't in the wrong with that. I mean, granted, yes, murder is a little up
Now
there.
you're just trying to protect TJ, but like this time, like I get there to fight and you can claim self-defense, but like he had every intention of murdering him once he got in the water.
Yeah,
That's not self-defense anymore. That's murder.
this one is a little different, though it still classifies as self-defense in a court. But yes, you're right. You're right. It is a little different. But the thing is is like a lot of people online, this is something me and Alan have talked about, is a lot of people hate on Chase for what he did to Sydney and the fact that he never told anybody. But he was a kid, no matter what the reason was, to tiny little kid Chase, he did something horrible, something he could never tell anybody again. So, yeah.
All kinds of messed up.
I just realized something else that I actually find kind of sad. But yeah, this is, it sucks. But that's what the hysteria does.
I mean, we all do, Matt.
You're not wrong.
Hi, lady. How pretty clean.
Ooh, here's something I do want to ask you guys.
Huh.
Now that it's been confirmed that that TJ is, or no, not the TJ, that Flynn and Carl aren't the ones who wrote the notes. Who did?
TJ? Could it be
My
TJ?
original, it was Ghost Sydney.
I think it was TJ.
Might have been. TJ.
Why do you think? Let's start with Sebastian because he answered first. Why do you think it's Ghost Sydney?
Oh, who just joined?
Blake.
It's the vibe of the notes, I guess.
Wait, hold up. Who just joined?
It was Blake. He left.
Oh, okay, that's
Like, I don't think Toby would really know how Sydney would write notes necessarily. I don't think he would pay enough attention to that.
How about, why do you, now Sam, why do you say that it's Sydney?
Or
I said TJ.
Or,
TJ.
yeah, TJ. Why do you
Because I
think?
think TJ felt guilty of knowing it, and so he wrote a treasure hunt so that someday he might be able to come clean without actually coming clean.
But if that's the case, why prosecute Chase, who saved TJ's life?
That I don't have an answer for.
because remember, all those notes are really, really kind of like throwing Chase under the bus.
And say that yes, back then, say even now TJ still thinks what happened is terrible, even he'd be able to look back on it and say, no, Sydney was trying to kill me. TJ attacked in self-defense. As horrible it is, TJ is one of morality. He would have been one to say that was horrible, but it was not Chase's fault.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you got to remember, Sydney was attempting to kill TJ. That's the thing. When Chase pulled Sydney under it the first time to mess with Sydney just the same way he had been doing to TJ. When Sydney popped back up, he admitted, "Oh, you were trying to kill me," like he had been doing to TJ. That was all the confirmation Chase needed to go, okay, fuck this. I'm not letting you go because you're just going to keep doing this to TJ. You're going to eventually kill TJ someday if I let you go. I will fully admit, Chase probably didn't have the best reasoning for that. It's not self-defense. That was murder when it came to Sydney. But for child logic, I kind of see where he was coming from. But at the same time, I want to also point out, was it really Chase alone when he did that?
Guessing not with the hysteria.
Yeah, as you're seeing here at the lake, both Flynn and Chase are being pushed by something to make this fight a whole lot worse.
So, and this is with Alan's permission. Actually, no. Matt, who do you think it is? Who do you think wrote the notes? Before I give my point of view.
I mean, this is a long shot, but there's a chance it could be Chase himself, but he doesn't know it's him.
That's possible. That's certainly a theory.
That's interesting.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
Well, from what I'm understanding is like the details in the notes are so thorough that are directly towards Chase. And while I can agree to extent it could be TJ, there's also a chance it could be Chase without him knowing, and he could not know he's writing these notes to himself due to the hysteria, which is obviously fucking with him as well as many people. But that's my theory.
That's a fair theory. And I want to, with Alan's permission, I want to talk about what my theory about this is. Granted, I don't know, with the gun being held to the back of my head, how much I'm willing to say.
As long as you don't bring up anything from Flynn's route or what you do know of Jenna's route, you're fine.
Okay, then yeah, so my personal theory is that it's TJ who wrote the notes. Granted, there are some gaps in this, but I do have some evidence to back it up. Y'all probably don't remember this because it's been so long, but at the diner, when TJ's writing out something on a napkin, Chase remarks about how chicken scratch.
It's not even that. It's like childlike. He said.
Yeah, it's like a child's writing in form of like, eloquency. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I gotta get going, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I know we're so close.
Come on.
Look,
Well, Okay, I'm gonna finish this then tonight with Seb because we're gonna be doing this again anyway with Hannah and DJ. And by the way,
that's true.
as a hard rule, don't tell them anything.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Well, have a good night, guys.
Have a
Yeah,
good
night.
Good night, Sam.
All right, good night.
I'd still like to finish out with, here's the simple fact. Another reason why is TJ always knew where the notes are. He always knew where they are. He always knew where to look. He was always super determined to find them. And something that's interesting to note is, now this bit of information, I don't remember what route it's from. I don't think that it's Flynn or Jenna's, though, so I'm going to say it anyway, with the remarks that I could be giving future information. But it was remarked somewhere, I don't remember where, that TJ has an easy time sneaking up on people because when he wants to be moving around, he's almost entirely silent.
That was actually brought up in the school where he's able to kind of move gracefully through school without any of the floors creaking under him.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember where that came up, but TJ, when he wants to be, is incredibly stealthy, and something that the one Red Panda noted was that, like, he saw somebody leaving his house. He thought he prevented a break-in, which it's possible that TJ was so stealthy, he only saw TJ when TJ was already running away. Now, granted, there is and the reason why he's doing it and focusing it so much on Chase is because of what the Hysteria wants. And even to my knowledge from Flynn's and Jenna's route, at least I don't know what the Hysteria wants yet. It's mostly just been theorizing as something. But like it said in this route, there has to be a secret of some sort. There has to be something that makes you feel what I've kind of assumed it wants is guilt, shame, or guilt, shame, or uncontrollable uncontrollable desire.
I have some different theories about that, but I can't really explain my theory until we get through Jenna's route. But I will point this out. If that was the case, if it really needed like the secret and the guilt and everything like that, technically speaking, they never actually did reveal who was Sydney's killer. They just kind of got half closure from it instead.
In this one?
Yeah, because remember, the mirror ghost pops up and says, "Oh, holy shit, Chase, you need to totally reveal this to Flynn, so that way you can confirm that he's an asshole and everything, because this town needs secrets." I don't think the town needs secrets. I think the town needs damage.
That's possible.
But I'll explain that later when we get through Jenna's route.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. But the point still stands. And okay, granted, with my line of logic saying that because the point I'm trying to get at though is like TJ was fueled by the Hysteria to do all of this. That's why he was acting so unlike it, being
I agree.
far more aggressive and swearing and breaking laws and whatnot. Granted, from my logic and how I think the Hysteria works and why it's working, there is one fallacy with my theory. And that is, if Sydney's damage is already enough, which clearly by Leo's route, and I'm assuming Carl's route I've seen most of it, it is enough. Why would the Hysteria go so far to reveal a secret it already has just to make a new one? It doesn't make sense. But I say and I can't say why. I think it's unrelenting passion or desire to find something as something else that drives the Hysteria.
I kind of agree with that. I think it is basically internal desires and things like that too.
Yeah.
So it's my theory, but I'll explain that later.
So, that's why I think it is TJ who wrote them and hid them. But, like I said, or that he did it while being fueled by the Hysteria, but at the same time, like I said, there are, flaws in my theory. But I'm interested to see what, Seb and Matt think.
That's reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably a lot more likely that TJ wrote the notes, but ghosts are cool.
Ghosts are cool.
Well, the thing is, the theory that actually kind of relates to the TJ wrote the notes thing, remember Carl's route, people can get possessed. We even know from Leo's route that Chase is actively possessed by Sam at all points. Who's to say that TJ isn't possessed by Sydney? Because while TJ would know this information too, he seems to know where Sydney would keep stuff beyond that. And TJ was only 7 when Sydney was alive. So for him to have the best memory of all of Sydney's stuff is kind of amazing. It was either a hint that he's making it up on the fly, which the others are saying, no, this is actually accurate, or that maybe Sydney was whispering basically into TJ's ear or the back of his brain going hey, kid that was about to murder at one point, I need you to do me a solid and avenge my death.
Because my death is so much more important than the fact that I tried to kill you.
Now, I will say, I know a little bit more about Sydney's story. Sydney is not an evil character. And I wouldn't even say Sydney is bad. Sydney is just unfortunate.
I mean, yeah, I have to kind of agree. I don't like him, but I can't say anymore without the gun in the back of my head getting just a little bit tighter around my skull. Having these plot relevant spoilers that I've seen is kind of helping in the worst ways.
It is also fun though to see like the story a second time and see like, oh, that's a little detail that I didn't notice last time, type of deal.
Like, I guess random details that I make up, like things I've been talking to you about, like, oh yeah, I remember this one detail, this minor thing, incredibly well that we cannot find.
Either way, let's get this bad boy finished up. Let's see here. Since your character is dead, how would you like to be TJ now, Seb?
All right. Fucking, I died.
Well, actually, wait. Before we get onto that, because I also need to turn my controller on. How do you guys feel about Flynn dying here at the end of TJ's route?
Just so, while fitting, also like, holy shit, dude. Chase just murdered a guy. Again.
Oh, yeah.
Man, this town is weird.
I am mad about the fact that I was made to enjoy this.
I mean, that's the thing. Before we continue on with it, that was the thing that like threw me about Echo, was getting through Leo's route. Because I was just going to play it all on my own just to see like, hey, is this an okay story? Is this just kind of whatever? I kept seeing it getting hyped up on the internet, and I was like, this is probably whatever. Especially after Carl's route. Carl's route isn't bad, but it didn't impress me. Leo's route impressed me. TJ's route fucking wowed me, and then I got to go through both Flynn and Jenna's routes, and I was like, well, damn, this might be one of the best things I've actually ever read, and that's a surprise.
I have to say TJ's route was the most jarring to play, especially after Leo's route and Chase's route, where where Chase acts like the TJ in this situation, and then you see Chase take over the Leo route, and you're just like, what? No, this isn't supposed to happen. This is wrong. It's all wrong.
Which leads into my multiverse theory that I'll explain at some point when we get through Flynn's route, because I think that's probably the best time to bring up the multiverse idea again.
Flynn's route doesn't...
You gotta admit to me that looking at Flynn's route by the end there, you're like, well, fuck, maybe the multiverse theory might be a little bit more valid.
None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. None of it. You just sit there going, what is going on? And I have a theory on who I think the white man is. The white man.
I would like to hear that at some point. Don't want to spoil it yet, but I did want to say one thing to you, Harry, and that is for the guy at the scene at the very end of Flynn's route. You know the nice like little bar scene. That's what I'll call it. The bar scene. I think you should voice that guy. Would you like me to text you who I'm talking about?
Well, like, are you talking about the end one, or are you talking about the German Shepherd?
The end one.
Oh, I already planned to.
Okay, good. So, yeah, I just sent you the name again. Just to confirm that that's who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Alright, good. Alright, you guys ready?
Or...
Excellent. My stomach lurches, and for a moment I feel as if I'm going to throw up. I stare there on my hands and knees, staring into the water at my reflection. My face looks blank, and for a moment I see the horrible, gashed mouth. I know I'm crying, even if the lake water is covering it up. What happened? But as I look up, and as I see TJ there, everything comes together. He's on his knees, staring past me, mouth hanging open. Suddenly, I remember exactly why it is all this happened, and my chest fills with warmth and love for the cat as I stumble toward him on my knees. TJ doesn't seem to notice me as I wrap my arms around him, pressing his face into my chest. I've got you. We're okay. He's not gonna hurt you anymore. I breathe heavily into Lynx's ears as I whisper to him, wanting to let him know that everything's going to be okay. Finally, I feel him shake his head against my body.
Ace, why?
Because he knew, and he was never gonna leave us alone. He tried to kill us. I kissed the top of the cat's head gently, wanting him to know how much I care.
Is he...
He's gone. TJ sobs against me. I only hug him tighter.
Why did you do that?
He reaches out to my left, and I look, seeing the paper and the lake. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Me showing Flynn the paper, or killing him. I don't know, so I don't answer. Instead, I hug him even tighter, whispering in his ear. It'll be just like last time. We won't tell anyone. Our secret. Something turns ominous in the air. That horrible tension I felt dissipate when we opened the letters returns.
This town needs secrets.
We'll tell them he tried to kill us. We had to protect ourselves. TJ leans tiredly against me, his arms limp. We're gonna be okay. Just like last time. We can forget. TJ doesn't respond, so I look out at the lake and get a shock as I see Flynn floating there, close to the shore. He's face down, back just barely touching the surface. For a moment, I wonder if it's not too late, if there's still enough life in him to be revived. But that same feeling holds me back, and I cling to TJ instead. We're gonna be okay.
This
We were
ain't
manipulated. We keep moving in circles.
That voice comes to the surface for a moment, for the first time sounding stunned. I return to focusing on the Lynx, the whole reason why I did any of this in the first place. Whatever happens, I'm going to protect him from all the shitty people in the world that want to hurt him. By the time we get to our feet, it's dark, and I have to help the Lynx go along through the sagebrush. He's quiet, robotic like he was the first time this happened. I help him into my car, and I get into my driver's seat, quietly pulling out of the parking lot and leaving Flynn's empty truck behind. I watch it disappear in the rearview mirror, sitting alone under the yellow parking lot light. As we drive along the road, the Lynx stares out the window. I can still feel the tension in my arms and legs, making it difficult to keep the wheel steady. My heavy wet clothes stick to the seat. Finally, we get to the freeway, and I look back again. Echo, just a series of tiny lights, significant on the desert landscape. It seems absurd that the place where all that horror happened, where all that horror still is.
Ace?
I snap out of my daydream, looking over at the Lynx, his eyes glowing gently in the fading light.
We're done with wherever we're going.
The police station?
Yeah. Can you give me a ride back to CCU? I miss my bus.
TJ smiles sheepishly. I blink, wondering what to say. Does he not realize? Then I realize what he's doing. What's happening. Just like last time. I clear my throat. Oh yeah, definitely. I'll give you a ride for sure.
Thanks, Chase.
TJ smiles at me, then goes back to looking out the window. I wonder if you'll forget about what happened. Like what happened with Sydney. I hope that I can. We drive off into the dark desert, toward the soft glow of Peyton in the distance. 5 years later. Harry, you want to be the narrator?
Sure. Also, I just realized
Mm-hmm.
the extra credits in Flynn's is optional, but none of the others are. What?
Yeah, no, that little epilogue that happens in Flynn's is completely optional. It's the
Why
other
are-
routes where it's not.
Okay, sure. Is Devin the narrator?
No. Devin is going to be Seb for now, but normally it would have been DJ. Which I feel like at this point DJ will be screaming like, What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't use the F word, but he would say something. Whenever you're ready, Seb.
Alright. Seriously, this is gonna be such a good fucking time. You'll be glad you came.
The grizzly bear nudges the coyote playfully, almost knocking the K9 into the passenger window.
Ow, keep your paws on the wheel. Or your paw, at least. This road ain't in great shape.
In Cameron's eyes, the giant, half-eaten burger in the bear's equally giant paw. Dev's other paw casually steers the wheel, elbow resting out the window. God, I can't read. The bear looks happier than he's been in a while, somehow grinning as he chews. The coyote sighs and stares out his own window, watching the desert landscape fly by. It was nothing like his hometown, and he found himself wishing he was back amongst the pine forests. Something he'd been wishing since he moved to Pueblo for school. Technically, this was his natural habitat, but he found the whole place depressing, somehow. Empty and dry. I hate myself so much. God,
that's
I
okay.
did this backwards.
You got empty and dry, you just forgot and rough.
Yeah, empty and dry and rough.
What you pouting for?
I'm not pouting.
Yeah, you are.
Cameron sighs, deciding to change the subject.
So why couldn't Larry go again?
I don't know. Said something about his car breaking down. I think he just flaked though.
Aren't there other haunted places in Pueblo that we could have gone to, like, by the school?
The bear shakes his head, letting go of the wheel to crumple up the foil that had packed his sandwich, tossing it into the back.
Not like Echo, dude. This place is the most haunted town in the entire fucking world.
Cameron sighs once again, then suddenly grasps his seat as the car swerves and turns hard onto the smaller road, heading towards the big blue lake.
What the fuck?
Oops, sorry, almost missed the turn. Gotta hit the Lake Emma before the actual town.
The road quickly ends on a small parking lot, empty and cracked.
Why?
Because a lot of shit happened here.
The grizzly hops out of the car, making an entire thing tilt sideways as he squeezes the bulk out, before reaching back to the camera bag. The coyote allows himself one last frustrated sigh before he gets out as well. The bear waits for him, reaching out a large padded paw. Cameron takes it and immediately draws into a tight embrace and a kiss. The coyote tenses up for a moment, then waits until Dev releases him.
Ugh, can you not do that right after you eat a big greasy hamburger?
Cameron makes a show of wiping his lips. Devin rolls his eyes.
No pleasing you, is there?
Nevertheless, the grizzly holds up out his paw again, and Cameron takes it, the two of them walking towards the faint trail. It's not a pleasant walk, the trail almost obscured by the sagebrush and dying vegetation. Once they reach the edge of the lake, Devin has to help the coyote down the rough, rocky terrain. The coyote feels like a child as Devin lifts him down off these boulders and onto the beach. The bear's tree trunk biceps bulging as he does. They stand there for a moment, taking a scenery. Then Devin leans over to set the camera back down. Cameron stands there, looking around the very unphotogenic lake.
So what exactly happened here that you're so interested in?
Devin takes off his backridge baseball cap for a moment to soothe his head further down. He puts it back on and then bends over again to take out the camera.
Some people say the lake was haunted too. Some guy got killed here in 2015 according to a few articles I read.
Wonderful.
That was self-defense though.
Was that during the whole hysteria thing or whatever?
Devin pans the camera across the length of the lake before stopping on Cameron. The coyote frowns at being filmed.
No, that was in 2017.
The bear pans the camera the other way now, and Cameron feels himself getting sweaty under his shirt already. Some coyote he was.
It's so hot here.
That dude looks like a stoner.
Cameron?
Yes.
I cannot tell you Cameron's backstory until you play Arches yourself at some point.
My man looks like he smokes weed.
I will just say that, like, out of all the characters within the Echo Project series, Cameron's the one that I'm like, this is my baby.
So he doesn't smoke weed. Understood.
Sure, you can think that.
Think whatever you'd like to. Once we set ourselves up at the motel, we'll have some shade.
It's still open?
Ha! Nothing's open. Everything's abandoned now.
We're gonna get arrested for trespassing.
The bear finally turns off the camera, leaning over to shove it in his bag.
The cops never come down here. It's too out of the way.
Anything for the views, right?
Hey, my subscribers are gonna love this shit. Now come on, let's get back in the car.
The bear turns and starts scrambling up the rocky boulders, Cameron waiting as he does. That's when the coyote turns around and glances back at the lake one last time, and a lizard lays in the shallows, splayed out, staring at the sky. But he's not staring because his eyes are gone, half of his muzzle missing.
Fuck!
Cameron jumps back, tripping over the rocks and landing against the sharp edges. The coyote hisses in pain, but fear spurs him on, trying to scramble up the rocks after Devin. The bear's already turned around, though, reaching down to pull Cameron up.
Shit, you alright? What happened?
As Cameron clings to the large bear, he looks back, but nothing's there.
I don't know. I saw...
Devin looks in the same direction, squinting. Cameron stares a while longer, then turns back and shakes his head against Dev's chest. When Cameron looks up at the bear, he's grinning, though.
Holy shit, did you see a ghost?
The coyote scowls.
What? No, I just thought I saw something. It was the reflections in the water or something.
The bear gives him a knowing smile.
What?
You're gonna be a believer by the end of all this. I know it.
The grizzly hugs him tightly as Cameron frowns, still looking back in the shallows. It had been so real. But before he can even really collect himself, Devin is pulling him along back to the car.
And there we go. We're finally done with TJ's route.
Whoa.
Sorry, I was repeatedly stabbing a pool noodle with a
Yeah, I could hear.
Why?
Because there's a really sharp edge on my desk, and instead of, getting a new desk, I'm just wrapping the
I
sharp edge in
understand
pool
that.
noodle. I probably should have put this off till some other time. That probably would have been smart.
You were doing it while you remembered it. Also, this is probably gonna be this will probably be the one that I keep as an extra one for if somebody really wants to watch everything for our playthrough, they can watch this one. But this won't be the official one that pops up with it,
That's fair. Sorry, Alan.
How dare you?
I know, I'm horrible.
Yeah, you are awful and fat and stupid.
Oh my god. So mean.
Welcome to my friend group, and this is what they do.
Hey, at least I don't say insults at you.
Say it behind his back like a coward.
Oh my god. Actually, it's more just I try to avoid insulting people in general.
Yeah.
Just say things behind their back like a real man.
That's cowardice.
I don't know. I don't even when I'm talking behind people's back, I don't feel good about that, and I try not to do that. That's just a personal thing.
Nah, it's
More noble than I am.
It's not about nobility either. It's just it makes me feel I don't feel right about it. Is all.
Fair enough.
Trust me, in my own graduate program, talking behind people's back was a pretty common thing. So I actually was a little bit out of place with that.
Sounds about right.
Oh.
Oh, yay. There's Sunrise Without You and This Lingering Hope, which were the two songs that were playing throughout that point at the end there. So the song the song that Flynn was being drowned to was Sunrise Without You, and the song where TJ and Chase were hugging after Flynn gets super killed, that was This Lingering Hope, which, by the way, that's a really good song if you ever get a chance to listen to the full version.
Fun.
Either way, we did it. We're done with Echo for TJ's route, but we'll have to do it again when we get Hannah, DJ, and Matt. You get to see the first half of all of that mess.
Yay.
What the fuck?
We're having a fun time. Ba 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 da ba.
Oh man, isn't it great to trauma bond like this, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
We're having fun. Ha 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 ha.
Yes, I'm totally.
Ended.
I'm totally having fun watching a chase I want to fucking murder while I'm updating my references and sign more job applications.
Oh, nice! Congrats.
Uh,
I know that's
Angry
rough work.
job applications.
I know it's rough work, but I am glad to hear that you're like signing for some job applications and everything close to your home, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Would you like me to bleep that when it comes to like the video, or are you okay with me mentioning that you're doing the job applications in the video?
I don't really care.
Okay. I figured there wasn't a lot of revealing info in that, but just figured might as well say.
It's not like I'm
pass.
saying where.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. All right. Well, anyone have any last thoughts before I stop the recording?
I live in and if you ever come here, I will fight you.
Okay. Well, we already have said that you live nearish to some other people, so I'm gonna have to bleep that, Harry.
I live in.
Alright, well, it looks like I'm gonna have to bleep a whole bunch of things now.
We can give you.
I live in.
God damn it, Sam! I don't need to bleep everything.
Give him more stuff to bleep.
You know what? That's it. We're ending the video. Say goodbye, you fuckers.
My family lives in Vancouver, California,
I will give you my
right next to Iceland.
I'll give you my address. We'll fist fight.
Alright, say goodbye, assholes.
Bye, assholes.
Thank
Bye,
you.
assholes.